Today's daily recap for BTG Beyond the Gates is for Friday, September the 12th, 2025. Not a lot happened today, everybody. But I'm going to tell you this. Officially, my least, doggone it, I can't say that. I was going to say officially my least favorite male character on BTG is Tomas. But no, then I thought, oh, we got Doug on the show. Oh man. And look, we got Randy on the show. And we got silly acting Ted on the show. So I guess I can't say he's just looped. Tomas is lumped in with all of those other lunkheads. That's what I'm gonna say. Because what Tomas is doing is playing two ends against the middle. He and Cat were at Orphe Jeans. And he's talking about, ooh, I'm gonna get all kinds of ways that I'm gonna make your toes curl. You're gonna be just like yelling in ecstasy and blah blah blah. She's like, okay. He goes, no, Cat. It's like we're gonna get to do a do-over. She goes, I don't think you could do a do-over in virginity, Tomas. But no, it is my mission to just blow your mind. And she's just looking. And Eva walks right over to them, puts her purse down, saying, I hope I'm not interrupting or sorry for interrupting. And Kat looks at her and she's like, well, then don't. No, I have something I have to tell you. It's important. Well, Kat was Kat and said, look, there's nothing that important that you got to interrupt Tomas and my time together. She goes, well, I feel you should know. She goes, no, there ain't nothing you got to say I want to know. And Tomas is like, Cat, maybe it is something important. Just hear what she has to say. She goes, there's nothing she's gonna have to say that's important. And she bashed Leslie and mother. All they do is wreak havoc and destruction. So Eva says, I knew I shouldn't have tried. So she's going to get up. And I said, no, you're doing this, Eva, for Tomas's benefit. And Tomas is like, Cat, just hear her out. And Eva's standing up, and Cat says, look, you've already interrupted. So what's so important, Eva? Eva sits back down. I just wanted to tell you again, I'm sorry. And I thought, oh, no, you're not, chick. No, you're not. Because, see, that ain't nothing that was so important that you had to walk in and sit your behind at the table with me and my man. See, Cat was right with that one. Even though it's Cat's holier than thou attitude that really does turn Tomas off. Because, see, Tomas is a working man. He just happens to be in a lucrative profession, right? And could be an up and coming, but he did not come for money. He and Eva actually have more in common. They talked about that. And so she goes, no, mm-mm. Like I said, you had nothing to say. And then she like tore her up from down. And Tomas says, Cat, that's uncalled for. And Eva gets up. I knew. I never mind. I won't be trying again. She goes and she sits at a booth and she's pouting, Eva. But she's sitting right so Tomas can see her. And Kat was like, you know what, Tomas? I can see right through her and her mother. They wreak nothing but havoc. He goes, but I think she sincerely tried. He goes, no, she's not sincere. She wanted to come and interrupt our date, our meeting. Well, date. That's what she wanted to do. She didn't have nothing important to tell me. And you know what, Tomas? I am sick and tired of you constantly coming to her defense. You like those. Oh, she said something. What did she say? I forgot the name that she called them. Low life, something or other. Women, then that's on you. And she gets up and she storms out. So guess who comes right back and sits down next to Tomas? I'm sorry that I ruined your date with Cat. No, you ain't sorry. See? And he goes, no, Cat just, gets it in her head. He goes, I don't understand how a woman can be two different people. The Cat that I just, I'm so into, she's different than when she's talking about you and your mother, and she just changes. He goes, and that bothers me. Oh, it bothers you, doesn't it? Uh-huh. And look at who you confiding in. Cat goes home, and guess who she runs into in her own house? Samantha. Samantha, remember, Smitty and Martin started to allow her to date, but under their supervision. She decides she gonna use her key and bring her boyfriend back to Chelsea and Kat's place because they supposed to be gone. Now, the only reason Chelsea's gone is her family is trying to, really rally around her, and she's with Naomi. Otherwise, Chelsea would have been home, right? Teenagers. Kat walks in and she says, "What on earth?" Samantha and and Kat, she goes, "Oh no, oh no, this ain't happening here." She says, "And this boy better leave right now." And so he puts on his backpack because she walks in, they just kissing there. Oh yeah. It's not what it looks like. She goes, "Oh, it's exactly what it looks like, Samantha." So he leaves, and Samantha goes, "Are you gonna rat me out? Please don't rat me out." See, and my whole thing is, let me tell you something, young lady. We gonna correct your verbiage because you use it rat me out as if I would be the bad girl or the bad person in this scenario when it's you. She says that you have no business bringing any boy to me and Chelsea's place. If you're going to bring a boy anywhere, it's to your own house where your parents are. I know, but I didn't want him to have to be subjected to the parental. She goes, there's a reason for that, and he needs to be subjected to that. But still, are you going to rat me out? And she goes, you are going to tell your parents. Okay? No, I'm not going to tell them, but you are. She says, and Samantha, this had better not. No, it won't happen again. It won't happen again. Now, mind you, the young man before Kat got there, oh, he is bad news. He's probably going to end up taking advantage of her, right? Because he was saying, oh, all the guys are going to be so jealous. Here, I got a model, and who's even a Dupree. And he goes, I got a friend that's going to have this party where he rents out a place and then we charge a cover for people to come. But don't worry, I'll pay for you. She goes, you want me to come? Now, mind you, she's supposed to be what, 16? Now, she'll be too young for this party, even though he's a high schooler. This kid is a high schooler himself, right? He goes, because we need to hang out and get to know each other better in a different surrounding. Oh, really? And then she says, here's our homework. They have some project together. She completed the whole thing, his part and hers. And he's like, oh my, you did my part too. She goes, you could change, anything you want of your part. And he goes, no, no, I hit the jackpot. He goes, look, and she goes, you want me to come to the party? He goes, you would be the party. See, for one thing, that was a red flag. She didn't hear it because she's too young. Are you going to be the only girl there? The only underaged high schooler there? You the party for a bunch of boys? See, that could have went a whole bunch of different directions. But what I'm taking it that he meant, and she's taking it that he meant, he goes, you're a super, a model, a Dupree at our party. Oh, see, that's what we'll see if that, because we've already had tragedy with the Chelsea situation. So it's too, and we just got through the Martin situation. It's too soon to have a teenage sexual assault storyline going on, right? That's too much. So anyway, Cat comes in, he leaves. Well, after Cat leaves, guess who texts the boy to come back? Samantha hasn't learned not one doggone thing. See, Samantha is trouble. Trouble, and is going to get in trouble. There's no way Cat cannot let her parents know what this girl is up to. So he comes back and she goes, I'm happy you could come back. He goes, I was surprised to get your text. He goes, I thought your aunt, was really upset. He goes, oh, my aunt was just having a bad day. Oh, really? So Samantha has the nerve to say, now, remind me, what were we doing before we were interrupted? So they get back to kissing. Okay. So now we have, when Kat left there, she decides to go back to Orphe Jeans to see if Tomas was there. I don't know why I would think he would be there unless you already knew. Okay, Eva's still there. He's going to be there. Right? So, of course, Tomas is, just looking at Eva. Kat just doesn't understand. She goes, Kat, Eva, you're a special person. Kat doesn't see it. And Kat's walking through the door at this. Kat doesn't see it, but I know. I know the kind of person you are. And Eva looks and she puts her hand on Tomas's. Thank you, Tomas. And Kat is just like, I'm not even. And I was happy that she didn't even go in and put a little tantrum down on, see, I left for 5 minutes and you back here with my man. Because, see, no, you knew when you stomped out of there that she was there waiting to get your man. So you knew that, right? Don't pretend like that wasn't going to happen, right? So she just heard what she wanted to hear. And what she should have heard and wanted to hear was, my man is not loyal. Yeah, he likes the fact that I'm new to the in between the sheets game. That's the turn on for him. And he ain't even good in between the sheets. But as far as being loyal and really being into, no, So hopefully she gives Tomas the boot. I hope Kat kicks him to the curb, because Eva's interested in him, but she's really doing it to get back at Kat. Remember, her and her mother now, they going after the Duprees. But just from their conversations, she and Tomas has more in common, right? Now, when Cat left it there, I thought, now is she gonna go back home? Because this girl's going back and forth, walk back in on Samantha, who called that boy right back there. Because what she should have done, she should have said, Samantha, you are leaving with me now and give me the keys to my place. That's what she should have said. You no longer have key privileges. And no, I'm not going to leave you here. She shouldn't have left her there. That was mistake number one. So we'll see what happens with that. Then we get Ashley. Andre was talking to Ashley. Derek had rolled up in his wheelchair and caught the end of their conversation saying, to think our misunderstanding that we had about, me and Danny, which derailed us getting together. He says, can you imagine if this would have happened to Derek? What would happen? She goes, no, this would be devastating for Derek. And, right? And he goes, yeah, that would be rough on him. And Derek's just looking. And so he goes, but, as it turned out, we didn't even get a chance to start. He said, because right now, I'd have made you breakfast in bed this morning. And she, Ashley. So anyway, he goes, well, look, I got to go. And Derek is back in his room. He goes in his room and he's still trying to, and he's got a little feeling going. And he was going to tell Ashley. But Ashley comes in. He goes, Ash, I got something to tell you. She goes, I know, but look, I don't want to be rude because she had called her mother. Her and her mother went to Orphe Jeans. And here we go. If I got to get my mama to talk me into being with somebody, then I don't really love this somebody. And that's the truth. I love him as much as my mama can talk me into it. And that's just what Jan did. Ashley says, no, no, let me go first. Derek, no matter how we got here, everything always ends to us being here. So I have to say this, and she gets down on one knee. Derek, whatever his last name is, will you marry me? And he's just looking at her. Now, what Derek should say, now we know that's what Derek wants, and that's what Derek's been wanting. He should say, Ashley, when I am recouped or I have recovered or rehabilitated as much as I am, whether it's back to 100% normal or whatever my new normal is going to be, once we're there, ask me that question again, right? Don't even think, Derek, you're going to, because she's doing a pity thing. Don't even think to say yes to that. Unless you're going to tell her you're starting to get some feeling in your legs. Because once she finds out, months down the road, because you're going to wait till you could walk and still haven't told her, she's going to break that. She'll never marry you. So I could already see that relationship now going right back down a wrong path 100% because Derek is not going to be honest with Ashley. Now, what was real cute, Danny was at the club. She was waiting on Andre to come for breakfast, but of course, Andre had to talk to Ashley first because he's still trying to burn a candle, see what's up with Ashley, right? And he got a text from Danny saying, where are you? And he just put his phone back in his pocket and he's talking to Ashley. So Bill walks up to Danny because remember he had a meeting and his meeting was there at the club and he walks over to her table and he goes, is this seat taken? And she says, that depends. Where's your young new wife? And he goes, she's at home. So Danny says, okay, then in that case, yeah. She says, because she goes, I am waiting for my breakfast engagement. Or she may have even said breakfast date. I think she said breakfast engagement. Waiting for someone for breakfast. And she goes, but he's not here yet. You can sit down. So Bill sits down and they're talking and he's dilly-dallying around, and Danny says, "Your meeting ended, Bill. Why have you not gone home?" She said, "Because it seems like you're trying to start small talk with me just to keep you from having to go home. Is anything happening?" And he says, "No, it's not that, Danny." She goes, "Yeah, sure, right?" He says, "But, my focus is, making sure Chelsea knows I'm there for her." She goes, "As a matter of fact, Naomi too. I'm going to be there. I've always been there for my girls." And Danny looked at him. She had her coffee cup to her mouth. She goes, and he goes, "Mostly." Yeah, because she's like, "Oh, whoa, whoa," you know, because this whole last year you ain't been there for them, right? So he goes, "Mostly." He goes, "But no, I'm going to do better and things are going to change." And she goes, "Well, you know what though, Bill, one thing. You did get me through this whole ordeal with Chelsea. You did." And she put her hand on top of his hand. And there's a little picture in the center. I don't know if you noticed it. It's after Cat sees and hears. There's a little square picture. That's Danny. She reached over, put her hand on top of Bill's hand. She goes, "And I thank you for that." And then he swung his little thumb over top and he's rubbing the top of Danny's hand. He said, "No, we were there for each other. And our newfound coexisting," he goes, I hope we keep it." So Andre walks up and Andre looks, he's got his hand clasping his wrist, and he looks down at Bill. He goes, "You're in my seat." And Bill looked up at him, and Andre's looking down at him, and he goes, "Oh, are you the breakfast someone?" And so Danny says, "None of your business, Bill. Who the someone is, none of your business." Now, she goes, Bill, I'll see you." And Andre says, "Am I interrupting something?" Danny said, "No, no, no. No, no. He's leaving." you know, "Goodbye, Bill." And he stands up next to Andre because Bill is tall. Bill's probably the tallest man on the show. He stands up next to Andre and he starts buttoning his suit jacket and he's looking down on Andre. Andre would not give him the satisfaction of looking up at him eye to eye because he would have to have looked up because Andre was in the upper position when Bill was sitting down and Andre was standing looking. Oh, he was looking Bill dead in his eyes then. But as soon as Bill stood up, Andre just looked straight like, "You ain't even gonna think about intimidating me. Move out of my seat." And so Bill said something kind of snide as he was walking away. But anyway, Danny and Andre, talking. Next thing they back at Danny's place. Was that Danny's place? I don't necessarily know which place it was. I didn't pay that close attention, but they were hitting the 1,000 sheet thread count. They were back in the sack again. So anyway, that is it. No, no. Naomi was really trying to boost Chelsea's spirits, and Bill showed up, and he let them know, "I'm gonna make sure you two know how much you mean to me. Yes, I know I hurt the family when I married Haley, and I hurt you too, and I didn't even try to mend things." He goes, "But no, that's not going to happen ever again. I'm your father. I want to know you could come to me with relationship problems, with everyday problems, with whatever is going on in your lives. I want you to know that, girls." And they both appreciated it, right? It was a good talk. He did a good talk with both of those girls. So that's it. Nothing else really happened. Samantha, let's see if Kat walks in on her, but I don't think they're going to have her walk in on her twice in one day, but that's just letting us know, no, this girl's going to do some, she going to get in trouble. She going to get in big trouble. All right, everybody, I'll be back on Monday for the another daily recap of BTG Beyond the Gates.